All right, see that? Now we're gonna take a little bit underneath here to kind of get we round it off just a little bit. I'm gonna take a little bit more off on this back here. There we go. And be careful on this whatever you're taking off, in other words. And as you bring the hair up underneath here, and you give more allowance for the hat having depth. Okay. Okay. There we go. Just gonna kind of bring this here around here like that. See the face? And if we want to bring it out just a little bit more, we come a little bit underneath here, which we will. Because as you see the body, look there now, the body is way too big for the head. So that all have to be brought down. So let's go ahead now, come over here, make our ears, come around, and remove wood from that. Wood from behind there. You always make the ears a little bit bigger. Of course, that will be taken down right in here where the ear is. There we go. And let's come over here and do the same thing. It's like a C. Come up. Start taking wood away from the ear there, the back of the ear. Gives it something to stand out. Now let's kind of remove our hair. There we go. All right, now we just kind of cut the ears off the top up here, and once again take the knife and just barely make a cut, and then bring the knife and slide it in there just a little bit like that. Bring it up. Wood doesn't want to work today. I don't know what's the problem. Bring it down. There it is. Doesn't want to slide real good today. Sometimes, so you kind of do a double. There's a double take. Same thing over here, just a little movement of the knife gives that it and then from this point, there we go. Cut a little bit from the inside here and make it stand out even more. There we go. Come over here and cut from the inside. Make it more. There we go. Cut from the inside a little bit more. There we go. That's better. All right. So now we have our little, take a little bit more off this top. Some off the side there, just to make that a little bit more. There we go. And let's kind of cut around this a little bit, give it a little bit more shape. Top of the hat. Just like that. Alright, here we go. Now let's go ahead, let's go ahead and get our shoes established here. And let's cut down on those shoes. So they're going to be smaller than that. Might as well cut them down now. And then let's just go hit the middle, go to the middle of it, cut it in half. That's when we start taking the shoes away. There we go, see? Sort of cutting in half. And it'll be brought down even more. The shoes will, because we got to bring all this down a lot more. Just like that. Alright. Clean that up a little bit. All right. Okay. Now, what are we going to do here? Well, first of all, if he's carrying a suitcase, or a briefcase, as we might say, he's a businessman. Suitcase full of money, huh? Yeah. If he's carrying a suitcase full of whatever, then naturally his hand would be to his side. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of, from this point, we're going to come down, come across here, and that's going to be our high hand for the time being, our arm. We're going to come back with it a little bit more. So we want to cut down like that. And we want to cut back. See this? And we want to come down here and we want to make a cut for the hand, because we got to be sure and get plenty of room for it to we make the cut down here. We remove wood right here. Okay, so right now this is what our hand looks like. I mean, our arm looks like. It's, of course, it's got a lot of work to do to it. So that would be his hand. And I'm going to go ahead and remove some wood right in there. Okay? Alright. Now the second, we can just go ahead and put that in his pocket. So we come down here like this, come over, all that from there, and we begin to open up, come across here, make a cut, come across here, make a cut, and continue to kind of take that out in there. Do it again. You come across here, you make a cut, you make a cut again, and you begin to just sort of take away all that wood right there. And that'll be cut back. Alright, so now let's go ahead and come back here and make a little cut right in here. That's where the back of our hand, our arm is. And then let's make a little cut right here and come from the inside to put it in his pocket. We're going to do that, okay? And that's, we'll get into this in just a minute. So as we look at our figure, we want to look at the fact that a little bit of proportion. Now, since it's a caricature, proportion is not the main factor in all of this, but it does play some factor. You don't want it, you know, we're not trying to go for realism necessarily, but we want to get it pretty close, in other words. Alright, now the first thing let's do is just bring the shoes down. The shoes are way too big, so we're going to come from each side and we're going to take that middle piece out of there. There we go. If we look back here, you can see everything is too big, so that all has to come down. Now, don't take too much off in here, because you're going to be taking a lot off on this side. You don't want your shoes to be too small, in other words, or too thin. But you start to take some wood off. Also, once again, to get your hand that you have here. And you start bringing those shoes back and down, okay? I'll bring that to, we sort of bring them down, because the shoes are Then you kind of just thin this up a little bit. Okay, if we look from the side here, I'm going to take a little bit more off in this in here. Okay? A little bit off right in here to make sure. I'll come up underneath here a little bit, see? I'm just giving a little bit more depth to that arm there. All right, now okay, now once again, let's kind of get these shoes down a little bit more, come a little bit more. And from back here, let's just bring them down on the sides a little bit more. We're thinning them up pretty good. So let's go ahead and get the shoes down the way we want them, let's go ahead and make our cuts for our pants on each side. And go ahead and cut those. That's those cuts, of course, that make your creases for your pants. And cuts for the creases in your pants. Cut those shoes down just a little bit more. All right, and that brings those shoes down. By cutting those creases in the pants, and brings the shoes down. We got a little bit more depth to them. Let me bring this down a little bit too. When you have it a little bit bigger, you can always bring them down yourself. See? All right. Now, what are we going to do? We'll bring this down up just a little bit and give a little bit more depth. That's plenty of depth for that arm right there. Okay? All right. Now, what is our next move? Well, what are we going to do next? I'm just going to knock that off. Well, what we're going to do next is decide, what is he wearing? That's the first thing. What is he wearing? What in the world is he going to have on his... So let's go ahead and I'm going to put a little bit more of this in here. Just down a little bit more. I'm trying to decide what to put on him. So let's go ahead and put a coat on him. I'm gonna have this coat come down, maybe it's cold or whatever, and come this way, and then the other side coming down here like this and coming down here like that, in other words. Okay, so the first thing we want to do Just make a cut and follow your knife down here and do it again. Make a cut and follow your knife down here, and then take the edge of your knife and cut that out. And you go along there and you just remove the wood that you have there. Okay. All right. And this goes all the way down here. And you remove a little wood in there. A little back here. All right. Then, from the other side, let's see if I can show you this. You want to make kind of a little V here where the other part of the coat meets it right here. So you cut that, whoop, and then you come from the inside here and you cut that. There we go. Okay, and then since the coat comes in here, then it can come out somewhere around here and go back here. So let me show you how you do that. And then you make a cut here and come back like that, and then you come back and you cut that. You take that off just like that. Okay, you start taking some off there, and then you come all the way across with that coat and come up, and you cut that there, cut that there, and cut that.